Hello everybody, this is No Ports. Today we are returning to the Ultimate General American Revolution, where I am going to be sharing some information about general perks, unit perks including infantry, fusiliers, militia, cavalry, and also perks available to ship units. American Revolution is created by Game Labs, who have made Ultimate General Gettysburg, Civil War, Ultimate Admiral Age of Sail, and Dreadnoughts. Currently for American Revolution, the US campaign is available on Steam. One of the first things we will be looking at are the general traits. I have General Ward right here. And so I mentioned in my first video that in the character creation you get to select your first trait. These are tireless, which actually increases your own movement speed by 10%, followed by Commander, which increases the aura of the Commander by 10%, and then Scout, which increases spotting by 10%. I will reiterate that I think the best trait you can pick out of these is Commander, as your own move speed, your general is kind of fast already, and spotting does not provide that great a benefit compared to the command aura. Now the second series of traits or perks, I will use that term interchangeably, is Leader, which increases willpower by 20. This will reduce the morale regeneration, or increases the morale regeneration of your units, and also decreases the damage they take to morale while being fired at. Then you have long-range tactics, which provides my trait I love the best of plus 10 firearms. And then you have close-range tactics, which provides plus 10 melee. Again, between two of these perks, I would choose firearms as my preferred, followed by willpower. I will not be meleeing the British unless I have an advantage, and even then it has to be an overwhelming advantage where plus 10 melee will not factor in too much. Now the third tier of traits, we have Logistics over here, which increases your the ammo by plus 20% for the units. This used to be a pretty good perk to choose. However, in the technology trees, there's a lot of plus 5% unit ammunition and provisions, plus 10%. So plus 20% is not that good anymore. Trainer, this provides plus 10% experience gain for units. I think Trainer might be my preferred perk here because it is very difficult to get units like infantry, militia, and fusiliers up to level 2, and very rare to get up to level 3. So I would say plus 10 experience to help them get there is a lot better. And the last trait is Tactician, which is a plus 20% move speed of units. Tactician sounds like a good choice early on, but you can build infrastructure that increases the movement speed of your units in the area. Overall, though, I am a big fan of more experience, which leads to better perks, so I would choose Trainer. So we're actually going to go to sea over here, and while you're looking around, this is a late campaign for me, December 7th, 1777. I do have a fleet of 6 US heavy frigates, and here we have their perks. So very similar to Civil War and Age of Sail, every unit has 3 tiers of perks to choose from. The first one for any crew is going to be Morale Inviolability, which increases their willpower by 15, or Tireless, which increases stamina by 15. My preferred here is generally Stamina, because you want your crews, when they're trying to board an enemy ship, have similar conditioning as your land units, If you have more stamina, they will have more conditioning, which leads them to boarding better. The second tier of traits, you have hand-to-hand combat, which provides plus 10 gunnery and plus 10 boarding. The gunnery is not like firing cannons. That is more like the second trait of gunners. This is for when they are boarding. Think of it as the Marines aboard ships. Your second perk choice here is gunners, which increases reload speed by 25%, so it's in faster, and plus 25% accuracy. And then your third option is rigging, which is the rotation or turn speed of the ships, and also plus 25% movement speed. Of the three, I am really going to be more into boarding, so I'm going to choose the hand-to-hand combat. Firing at enemy ships and blasting them seems nice, and catching up to them seems nice, but like the US heavy frigates are some of the fastest ships already. This one's going 8.8 knots. They can go faster. They turn pretty fast too. It all does depend on crew and durability of the sails and stuff. And the third tier is you have Devil Dogs, which increases gunnery, boarding, and willpower by 10. And the second option is Sea Wolves, which increases accuracy by 25%, reload by 25%, and plus 20 sailing. Of the two choices here, I am really going to go back with the Devil Dogs. Boarding is my bread and butter. It makes the encounter go by faster, and the better boarding you have, the less crew casualties you will take, and overall the less repairs you'll take, because the faster you make the enemy ship surrender, the less damage it does to your ship. Now we're going to go back with the Riders of Rohan and look at some cavalry traits. Cavalry really isn't cavalry per se, it is dragoons. And so they are actually mounted infantry that can dismount and fire. When they are mounted, they cannot fire. So they have in their first row discipline training, which provides 10 willpower, 5 efficiency, horseback riding, which increases their speed and efficiency, and then endurance course, which increases their stamina and efficiency. To me, the most effective perk here is really endurance course. Your cavalry is best used to me hitting flanks and rears, which requires a lot of movement. To charge requires a high level of conditioning, so increasing your stamina will increase the amount of conditioning that they have. So that's generally what I will prefer to choose. And then in the second tier you have cavalry training, which provides plus 15 melee, 5 stamina, and plus 20% charge damage. Then you have the choice of shooting training, which provides plus 15 firearms, plus 5 stamina, and plus 10% accuracy. Or reconnaissance course, which provides plus 25% spotting, plus 50% stealth, and plus 10 stamina. Now, typically I do prefer firearms, but since we're talking using them in melee more as a way to break the enemy, I would choose cavalry training, which is providing them more melee, more stamina, and increasing the charge damage that they do, and I believe this is the initial charge damage that they do into the unit. And then there's third tier of perks that dragoons can choose from are shock cavalry, which provides plus 10 melee, plus 10 willpower, and plus 20% charge damage. Or mounted infantry provides another plus 10 firearms, plus 10 willpower, reduces reload speed by 10%, and provides plus 25% cover. Again, overall with cavalry, I prefer to use them as flankers, and they're hitting the rears. So for me, they're not really good at standing toe-to-toe with regulars. A full dragoon company, or regiment, only has 240, so 80 per company in it. And so like with your regulars here are going to have 120, skirmishers have 100, 80 is the cap for dragoons. So again, I would prefer them to be flankers and attackers instead of trying to be light infantry. Now we'll get to my Fusilier and other regiments here. I cannot pull them up in the game, so let me go ahead and pull them up in an earlier save for you. I do save every month, that's my thing. I start at the beginning of the month. As the month progresses, saves. The game does save weekly every Monday, which is a very nice benefit that used to not be in there. So the perks for infantry, which are really Fusiliers and militia, are the same. Your first row is discipline training, which provides plus 10 willpower and plus 5 efficiency, or plus endurance course, which is 10 stamina and 5 efficiency. Of these two, they're very interchangeable. They are more depending on your play style. Stamina does provide better conditioning, which is typically what I will go with. Now, if it's militia, I might do willpower so they don't break as easily, but generally for my Fusiliers, I do like them having more conditioning and being able to give chase to the enemy after they flee. On the second tier of perks right here, we have Assault Course, which is willpower, melee, and stamina all increased by 10. Then you have Firearms, which is plus 10 firearms, plus 5 efficiency, and increased reload or improves reload speed by 10%. It's a very difficult thing to think. If it's a green trait, it's a good trait. So if you have a 1 second reload, it will reduce it by 10%, so it's a 0.9 second reload. Then in Marksman's training, you have plus 10 firearms, plus 10% accuracy, and plus 5 spotting. I will mention again, these traits are, the second tier of traits are doable to reach, but it's very difficult to reach and maintain that. What happens is your infantry, very similar to Civil War, as they take casualties and are replenished, they do lose experience a little bit, so it's hard to maintain a high tier of veterancy. Of the 3 options in tier 2, I will tend to go firearms. Again, to me, you're doing more damage to the enemy to break them faster, and the faster they break, the more or the less damage that you will actually take to your own troops. Now for the third tier here, we have Elite, which provides plus 10 efficiency, 5 willpower, 5 stamina, and 5 melee. Or you have Sharpshooter, which is 15 efficiency, 10 firearms, and plus 20% spotting. When I do get to this tier, which is very late, it's usually like 1778 or 1779 before I actually have a unit that gets the third tier, I will choose Sharpshooter. Again, the plus 10 efficiency compared to 10, and plus 10 firearms does better. This, again, the more damage you are doing to the enemy, the faster they break, the less casualties you take, and the more experience your unit should maintain. So I've been No Sport. I will probably start playing here through in the next few days on a hard campaign and share that with you guys. In the meantime, have fun and stay safe out there.